Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. Prime Minister Modi's Ethiopia visit marks new high as India and Ethiopia elevate bilateral ties to strategic partnership. Prime Minister conferred Ethiopia's highest honor to address Ethiopian Parliament today. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar meets Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem. Discussions focus on technology, economy, skills, connectivity and security cooperation. US President Donald Trump orders blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. Warns that US naval armada will only get better and bigger until Caracas returns all of the oil, land and other assets that they stole from the US. Trump administration expands travel ban, adds Syria and 6 other countries, partial restrictions on 15 more. Neeraj Gaiwan's Homebound advances in Oscars race, making it to the final 15 shortlisted films in the international feature film category. India and Ethiopia have reaffirmed their resolve to elevate bilateral relations to new heights following talks between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Ethiopian counterpart Abiy Ahmed in Addis Ababa. The visit saw a ceremonial welcome for Prime Minister Modi, delegation-level talks, exchange of key MOUs and Prime Minister being bestowed with the country's highest honour, the Great Honour Nishan of Ethiopia, reaffirming East African countries' role as a key partner for India in Africa and the Global South.
India and Ethiopia witnesses a new dawn in its diplomatic ties with a 2-day visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ethiopia, the Horn of Africa. The warmth of India-Ethiopia ties were evident with the kind gesture of Ethiopia's Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, who not only came to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi with his cabinet ministers at the airport, but also drove Prime Minister Modi to the Science Museum in the city of Addis Ababa and also visited the famous Friendship Park. After reaching the hotel, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was welcomed by the Indian diaspora at the hotel. After meeting the Indian diaspora, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the National Palace where he was welcomed with a guard of honour. Prime Minister Modi talked about the deep-rooted ties that India and Ethiopia share as partners of the Global South and that India aims to take the friendship to strategic partnership. He further announced the doubling of student scholarship.
हम भारत इथियोपिया संबंधों को स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप पर उस स्तर पर ले जा रहे हैं। ये कदम हमारे संबंधों को नई ऊर्जा, नई गति और नई गहराई प्रदान करेगा। भविष्य की अपार संभावनाओं को साकार करने के लिए एक स्पष्ट रोडमैप तैयार होगा।
Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, Ethiopia's Prime Minister, also mentioned the deep-rooted India-Ethiopia partnership and talked about the South-South cooperation.
Today, we have decided to elevate our relationship from historic relationship to strategic relationship between Ethiopia and India. Our two countries share over thousands of years of connection through trade, diplomacy, education, culture, and even in our food.
3 key MOUs were also signed on the first day of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Ethiopia. These include MOU for establishing data center at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, implementing arrangement for cooperation in United Nations peacekeeping operations training, an agreement on cooperation and mutual administrative assistance in custom matters. On the first day of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also conferred with the prestigious and the highest honour, the Great Honour Nishan of Ethiopia by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. On day 2, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the Parliament of Ethiopia along with other key engagements.
Friendship, diplomacy and strategic ties all were very much visible on the first day of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Ethiopia, where Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali himself drove the Prime Minister to the Science Park and the Friendship Square, and then the day proceedings took place. Day 2 will also be an action-packed day for Prime Minister Narendra Modi that will ensure the bolstering of India and Ethiopia ties, not only in terms of diplomacy but strategic ways as well. With camera person Shubham, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Today, on day 2 of his Ethiopia visit, Prime Minister Modi will visit the Adwa Monument and Museum and will lay wreath at the Adwa Victory Memorial. He will later address the joint session of the Ethiopian Parliament. In the Parliament premises, Prime Minister Modi will undertake tree plantation with his Ethiopian counterpart and speakers of both the houses under Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, or One Tree in the Name of Mother campaign. The Prime Minister will then be accorded farewell at the Addis Ababa International Airport, from where he will leave for Muscat. India and Ethiopia share a very strong diplomatic and cultural bond. Not only India is helping Ethiopia in economic reforms, but has been a friend in ensuring a healthy lifestyle for Ethiopia's young generation. DD India's Deepika Mehta gets you this special report from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where many young Ethiopian kids got successful heart surgeries done from India, and now they say they are in love with the country. Watch this special report.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, World is One has been the voice, the aim and vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And Ethiopia is a living example of how harmony, cooperation and good governance can exist between two nations. In the heart of Addis Ababa, there exists a Children's Heart Fund organization that delivers surgeries to kids with heart diseases free of cost by sending them abroad for treatment. And India ensured that when the kids of Africa are received in India, they're given the perfect medical treatment. The result was renewed lives of kids whose hearts thumped once again.
This project has been helping us a lot. We have been sending patients to India quite long time, close to 20 years now. So through that, close to 500 patients have also received the treatment. We are grateful for this partnership.
The organization has given new life to more than 2,060 children in over 20 years. They ensured the best facilities are given to the patients without charging a penny. The successful surgeries done in India made the Ethiopian kids fall in love with the country.
I'm very happy, me and my families. This treatment that is good. This Indian people, Indian doctors, that is good.
I'm very happy to get the treatment. I'm not the word how to say thanks. After the treatment, she's very well. She is healthy. She can do everything. She can do exercise. Now we are all of our family. We are satisfied. I say thank you so much.
To make this cause successful, many private entities came forward ensuring seamless and timely treatment for kids.
This initiative has been started before a few years, and now we are working closely with the Children's Heart Fund of Ethiopia and our Indian friends in India. They are helping these children when they reach. They arrive with their caretakers. They take the full care, and the total treatment is free. India Humanity Foundation is also involved with us in that mission, and it's a life-saving project, as you can say.
The partnership between India and Ethiopia represents a broader paradigm shift in global health diplomacy, what experts describe as South-South cooperation in medicine.
Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, has been the message that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has not only sent to the entire world, but we can see the living examples of it through the help of this initiative here in Ethiopia, where many beneficiaries, the young kids, are giving wings to their dreams because the Indian doctors help them getting the right treatment at the right time, and the government also played a key role. With this message, with this initiative, we again send the message of Vasudeva Kutumbakam to the entire world because the world is one family. With camera person Shubham, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Namaste.
And so those were the updates from Ethiopia. The Prime Minister will have engagements today in Ethiopia as well. And after that, he will head to Muscat. As we told you, after concluding his successful visit to Jordan and Ethiopia, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will arrive in Oman today as part of the three-nation West Asia and Africa tour. Oman is a strategically located Gulf nation connected by water from India's western shores. DD India's Gautam Roy has sent us a report from Oman's capital Muscat about India-Oman relations and prospects for their growth at a landmark juncture of ties.
The Southeast Arabian nation of Oman in West Asia borders Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Yemen and faces the Arabian Sea to the southeast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the Sultanate of Oman for the second time after 2018 on Wednesday and Thursday, marking 70 years of diplomatic relations. The visit is set to advance already extensive ties, which range from defense to energy, plus trade and investment to technology.
This is the second visit of Prime Minister.
We'll get this report for you in a short while from now, but at present we'll take you across to Ethiopia. India's Ministry of External Affairs is holding a press conference in Addis Ababa.
India is a very important partner in the global south, and a lot on this visit has been focused as to how we can strengthen this partnership further, not just ourselves, but also for the larger community in the global south as well. We are also joined by our ambassador to Ethiopia, Sri Anil Rai, and Joint Secretary ISA in the Ministry of External Affairs, Sri Janesh Ken. With that, I invite Secretary ER for his initial remarks, after which we can take some questions from the floor. Sir, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Randir, and good morning, everyone. As you are aware, Prime Minister Modi is on his first bilateral visit to Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia at the invitation of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed Ali. Prime Minister arrived in Addis Ababa yesterday evening and was received very warmly at the airport by Prime Minister Dr. Abiy. Prime Minister Abiy drove Prime Minister Modi directly to National Science Museum and Friendship Park in the city. Later, Prime Minister was accorded ceremonial welcome at the National Palace, where he inspected the Guard of Honor. Subsequently, the two leaders met in one-to-one format, followed by delegation-level talks and banquet hosted by Prime Minister Abiy. The two leaders had productive and wide-ranging discussions where they reviewed the full spectrum of the bilateral partnership. Both sides agreed to further expand cooperation in areas including trade and investment, agriculture, renewable energy, health, education, skill development, defense, mining, artificial intelligence, and digital public infrastructure. In the context of food security and health security, Prime Minister Modi expressed and conveyed India's readiness to share our own development experience in the area of agri-technology, natural farming, digital health, and how we are leveraging technology for better health services to our people, traditional medicine, and he said that India would be happy to work with Ethiopia in these areas in the coming months. Prime Minister thanked Prime Minister Abiy for Ethiopia's strong support in our common fight against terrorism in all its manifestation. The two leaders witnessed the exchange of several MOUs in diverse areas such as customs cooperation, training for peacekeeping missions, establishment of a data center at the Ethiopian Foreign Office. During their meeting, the two leaders decided to elevate the bilateral partnership to a strategic partnership, marking a whole new chapter in our bilateral engagement with Ethiopia. This elevation further solidifies our collective commitment to work even more closely in areas of mutual interest. At the meeting, the two leaders reaffirmed their commitment toward bilateral development cooperation. For decades, as you know, Indian teachers have been significantly contributing to Ethiopia's education sector. In this vein, it was agreed to further deepen cooperation in the field of education, skilling, and capacity building. India would be happy to organize special short-term courses in the field of artificial intelligence under the ITEC program for Ethiopia. Prime Minister Modi also announced doubling of the number of ICCR scholarships offered annually to Ethiopian students to study in India. Similarly, in the field of healthcare, it was conveyed that India was ready to partner with Mahatma Gandhi Hospital in augmenting its capacity through supply of equipment and provisioning of training programs, especially in the areas of maternal and neonatal health, emergency medicine, and trauma care. During his interaction with Prime Minister Dr. Abe, Prime Minister Modi expressed satisfaction at the growing participation of Indian companies, Indian private sector, in Ethiopia's economic transformation, particularly in the areas of manufacturing and pharmaceutical sector. The two leaders reaffirmed that India and Ethiopia stood united in advancing a more inclusive, equitable, rule-based global order. The two countries reaffirmed their commitment to work together on global matters of mutual importance and to amplify the voice of Global South. Prime Minister Modi conveyed India's support to Ethiopia's accession process at the WTO, as well as membership to the new development bank. As all of you know, Ethiopia has recently joined the BRICS grouping, and as I mentioned, India has been consistent supporter of Ethiopia's bid to join as borrowing member to the new development bank. At the meeting, Prime Minister Modi underscored India's abiding commitment toward the wider African continent and commitment to work together in the spirit of South-South cooperation, including within the framework of India-Africa Forum Summit. Prime Minister Modi lauded the positive contribution of the members of the Indian community in Ethiopia, who for decades have served as the living bridge between our two countries. At a special ceremony organized at the Addis International Convention Center last evening, Prime Minister Modi received Ethiopia's highest award, the Great Honor Nishan of Ethiopia, from Prime Minister Abe. Prime Minister Modi dedicated the award to all those Indians and Ethiopians who have nurtured the bilateral ties for ages and conveyed heartfelt gratitude on behalf of 1.4 billion people of India. This morning, the Prime Minister will be addressing the joint session of the Ethiopian Parliament, and he looks forward to his interaction with the Speaker of the Parliament and other distinguished leaders. He will also be visiting Adwa Museum, pay respects and lay wreath at the Adwa Victory Monument. Prime Minister Modi has also invited Prime Minister Abe to participate in the AI Impact Summit scheduled to be held in India in February next year, as also the BRICS Summit that we propose to host next year in India. As all of you know, from 1st January 2026, India will assume chairship of the BRICS grouping for 1 year. You would have seen two press releases on PM's engagement issued last evening, as well as Prime Minister's remark on the occasion of the conferment of highest award on him by Prime Minister Abe. You have seen the visuals emerging from various engagement, meetings, welcome ceremony, which clearly indicate the warm personal connect between the two leaders. With these words, I will be happy to respond to any questions that you may have about the ongoing visit. Thank you.
Thank you. The floor is open now. We can go from the left, please. Please do introduce yourself.
Sir, I am Sushil Chandra Tiwari from All India Radio News. My question is, sir, कि दोनों देशों के बीच जो शिक्षक हैं, जो टीचर हैं, उन्होंने एक बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले किया है पिछले कई दशकों में. तो अब जो कल बातचीत हुई है, उसके बाद हम जो एजुकेशन के क्षेत्र में किस तरीके से अपने सहयोग को बढ़ाने जा रहे हैं. और दूसरा, if you can allow me to ask one more question. The second thing is what the impact of this elevation of bilateral ties to strategic partnership is going to impact both countries.
ठीक है. More question? Please. Here.
सर 3 MOU साइन, मैं अश्विनी मिश्रा डीडी न्यूज से, 3 MOU साइन हुए हैं। उनमें से सर एक डेट रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग इन द रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ इथियोपिया अंडर द G20 कॉमन फ्रेमवर्क, इसमें कैसे इथियोपिया की वित्तीय सहायता सुनिश्चित की जा सकेगी?
We have a question there.
I'm Deepika from DD India, sir. When we talk about the elevation of bilateral ties to strategic levels, what would be the next steps to implement the same?
We have a question behind. Sorry.
Thank you. This is Girma from Ethiopia News Agency. My question is, what expected from this visit as the two countries as members of BRICS to further strengthen the Global South cooperation? Finally, how will India support African voice and leadership in global governance, including reform of international institutions as well as the representation of Africa at international global?
We have a question here.
Rishabh Singh this side from INS News Agency. My question is, what role Indian private sector will play to strengthening a strategic partnership?
Sir.
Thank you very much for these questions. I would like to answer these questions in the order that these were raised. There were some overlapping questions also. The first question was regarding the role of Indian teachers. जो हमारे भारतीय शिक्षक जहाँ इथियोपिया में उन्होंने काम किया है, उस हम पार्टनरशिप को कैसे आगे बढ़ाएंगे। जैसे मैंने बोला कि आप किसी भी यहाँ पे इथियोपियन लीडर से मिलते हैं तो वो बताते हैं कि किस तरीके से भारतीय अध्यापकों ने यहाँ पे कंट्रीब्यूट किया है एजुकेशन सेक्टर में। तो हमारी जो इथियोपिया से एजुकेशन पार्टनरशिप है वो काफ़ी मजबूत है। हम इथियोपिया के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए काफ़ी स्कॉलरशिप प्रोग्राम में इनको एडमिशन देते हैं हायर एजुकेशन में, और यहाँ पर इथियोपिया में काफ़ी रुचि है कि वो भारत में आके पढ़ाई करें। तो उसको देखते हुए प्रधानमंत्री ने जो हमारे स्कॉलरशिप के स्लॉट्स हैं इथियोपिया के लिए उसको डबल करने का अनाउंस किया है। हमारा एक आईटेक प्रोग्राम है, ऐसा मालूम है आपको, उसमें भी इथियोपिया से बहुत ही ऑफिशियल्स, स्टूडेंट, प्रोफेशनल्स आते हैं। तकरीबन पिछले 10 सालों में तकरीबन 3000 लोग इथियोपिया से आए हैं आईटेक प्रोग्राम में फॉर स्किल डेवलपमेंट। सो दोनों मिला के स्कॉलरशिप प्रोग्राम और आईटेक प्रोग्राम जो हमारे हैं इंडिया के, उसमें इथियोपिया बहुत ही मजबूत भागीदार रहा है। और आगे के महीनों में और वर्षों में हम चाहेंगे कि इथियोपिया की तरफ से और बच्चे और स्टूडेंट्स भारत में पढ़ने आए। There were two questions regarding strategic partnership that both the leaders have announced. The elevation of bilateral relationship to strategic partnership and what it entails in actual terms and what both governments will do to realize this strategic partnership. I think elevation of the ties to strategic partnership comes in the backdrop of a very warm, friendly and mutually beneficial cooperation that we have enjoyed over the last few years. This elevation, of course, is a very landmark outcome of this visit. Both the leaders have identified new sectors of cooperation. I alluded to agriculture, health, digital cooperation in the area of digital public infrastructure. Prime Minister Abe has expressed a lot of interest in technology, artificial intelligence area, to work with India and to learn from India's development experience. So we have defense and security is another important area. We signed the MOU on defense cooperation earlier this year in India. So we have, both the leaders have given us a very clear political guidance that these are the sectors in which Ethiopia is very keen to work with India. And Prime Minister Modi was very forthcoming in conveying to Prime Minister Abe that India would work shoulder to shoulder with Ethiopia in the spirit of South-South cooperation and expand our partnership across these sectors. As a next step, as you asked me, Deepika, that we would be engaging with our partners in Ethiopia very closely in the coming weeks and months. And we would like to lay out a very concrete roadmap across these sectors as to how we can work together with Ethiopia. I see tremendous opportunity for working with Ethiopia in the area of trade and investment, skilling, capacity building, and the whole gamut of development cooperation. So we are very excited about taking a partnership with Ethiopia forward in a manner that has been instructed by the two leaders yesterday to all of us. There was a question on debt restructuring. You are right that there is a G20 common framework on debt to sort of address the debt vulnerability of some developing countries they had agreed to lay out this framework. India has signed the MOU, which will give some sort of leeway to Ethiopia in terms of debt payment under the lines of credit given by India to Ethiopia in the past few years. As I mentioned, I think there was a question on BRICS. As I mentioned to you, Ethiopia has only joined BRICS last year, and we are delighted to welcome Ethiopia in BRICS, and we are going to host a host number of activities under the auspices of BRICS framework beginning January next year. And Prime Minister Modi has already extended an invitation to Prime Minister Abe to participate in the BRICS summit next year. We will, of course, convey the details of these activities as we enter the next year. There was also a question on how India and Ethiopia can work together to promote greater voice of Africa and African representation in multilateral forums. I think all of you know India and Africa, India and Ethiopia share a strong commitment in strengthening Africa's voice on global decision making. We both believe, India and Ethiopia, that international institutions must reflect contemporary global realities rather than outdated structures. India supports Africa's rightful place in the UN Security Council, a stronger role in global financial bodies, and greater space for African perspective on climate adaptation, trade, technology, and development. As Ethiopia is a key member of African Union and now BRICS partner also for us, we would be working very closely and coordinating with them in addressing these questions across multilateral fora. I hope I have answered all the questions.
Question about private sector.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, Arindri, for reminding me about it. Yes, I think private sector has been playing a very important role in strengthening our trade and economic ties over the years. As Prime Minister Abe himself mentioned yesterday, more than 650 Indian companies have sort of invested and registered with the Ethiopian Licensing Investment Department with an investment of over $5 billion. They have also created a number of jobs in Ethiopia, more than 75,000. That is the number Ambassador has given me. So I think if you look at the sort of fabric of India-Ethiopia cooperation in economic matters, we do have manufacturing sort of sector, agriculture, and of course technology and services domain. And in all these areas, Indian private sector has been investing in Ethiopia, but given the reform agenda that Prime Minister Abe has undertaken in the area of economy and development, Prime Minister Modi conveyed to Prime Minister Abe that India will work very closely with Ethiopia as per Ethiopia's priorities and encourage Indian private sector to do more in Ethiopia. So I expect more engagement in the area of business communities and trade and investment in the coming weeks and months. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? If we don't,
Sir, there are two key sectors.
Please.
Sir, there are two key sectors. One is agriculture and another one is digital public infrastructure, in which India has done a lot and many countries are trying to learn from India. So after the outcomes of yesterday's talks, what kind of plans you are seeing in next coming years?
Thank you very much for highlighting these two areas of collaboration, agriculture and technology, in particular DPI. And as I mentioned to you, Ethiopia and India have signed an MOU for cooperation on DPI last year, and we are going to implement it now. We would be very happy to welcome a delegation from Ethiopia, and Prime Minister in fact mentioned about this, that Ethiopian government can send a team of officers or professionals and to whom we can explain how DPI is benefiting across sectors in India, how technology can be harnessed for development, how our UPI payment system has given access to and empowered people, millions of people in India. So I think this is a very important area of partnership which has been identified by the two leaders, and I would expect more engagement, more visits to understand what we can do together in this area. Similarly, in agriculture, as I mentioned to you, Prime Minister Modi spoke about natural farming, agro-technology, again how we are using technology in building our agri-stack, and this is also an area where we would be working very closely with Ethiopia going forward. Thank you.
सर अश्विनी डीडी न्यूज से सर, जिस तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री आबे ने कहा कि भारत के 2047 तक विकसित भारत के विजन से वो इंस्पायर हुए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी। डिजिटलाइजेशन को उन्होंने यहाँ पे एक तरीके से फॉलो किया। तो 2047 तक भारत विकसित भारत और एजेंडा 2063 जो अफ्रीका का है, इन लिहाज से ये यात्रा क्या ये माना जाए कि अफ्रीका इंडिया 2.0 फेज में पहुंच चुकी?
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इस प्रश्न के लिए। आपने बिल्कुल सही बोला कि अफ्रीकन कॉन्टिनेंट वाइड इनका एक अपना विकास का अपना एजेंडा है जिसको वो 2063 बोलते हैं, और हमारा जैसा आपको मालूम है 2047 विकसित भारत का गोल है, और दोनों में जो है काफ़ी सिमिलैरिटीज़ हैं, चाहे वो एग्रीकल्चर हो, चाहे वो डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी हो, चाहे वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर हो, चाहे वो डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन कैपिटल हो। और उन सब क्षेत्रों में हमारी कोशिश है कि जो हमारी इंडिया अफ्रीका फोरम समिट जिसका हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनाइज करने की अफ्रीकन यूनियन के साथ में मिलकर, उस मुद्दों पे डिस्कशन हो और हम उन विचारों को और उन सेक्टर्स में कोऑपरेशन कैसे आगे बढ़ाएं, उस पर हमारी बातचीत हो। तो आपने बिल्कुल ठीक बोला कि एजेंडा 2063 ऑफ अफ्रीका एंड विकसित भारत गोल बोथ कन्वर्ज, एंड हम लोग बहुत ही मजबूती से बातचीत के जरिए, इंडिया अफ्रीका फोरम समिट के जरिए और बायलैटरल पार्टनरशिप के जरिए इन मुद्दों पर बातचीत करेंगे और कोऑपरेशन को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। थैंक यू।
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this press briefing. Thank you very much.
So this was the MEA press conference from Ethiopia. Secretary ER, Mr. Sudhakar Dalela, apprised us about the takeaways and highlights of Prime Minister's visit to Ethiopia. He also answered questions from the media persons on education. He said that Indian teachers have contributed well in Ethiopia, and also Ethiopian students are given scholarships, and also the slots for scholarships have been doubled as announced by Prime Minister. He also said that ITEC programs have also witnessed participation. On strategic partnership, he said that a landmark outcome of the visit has been the strategic cooperation, the relationship elevated to strategic partnership. He pointed to various areas where both the countries can work together. On debt restructuring, he said that India has signed an MOU with Ethiopia that would give leverage to Ethiopia in debt restructuring. Also, India welcomes Africa as BRICS partner. He also pointed out that private sector has also played a key role in enhancing the relationship, and India and Africa share commitment to strengthening Africa's global voice in global context. Also, the Secretary highlighted that both the nations are on way to achieving their respective targets, that is India on its way to achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047, and also Agenda 2063 on the same lines that it has been put forth by Africa. He said that both countries are on their way to achieve these targets, and this will help both the countries in further collaboration. So that was a gist of what all was said at the MEA press conference today, and this sums up the highlights of Prime Minister's visit to Ethiopia. He has also got engagements today. After that, he will leave for Muscat. However, during his visit to Ethiopia, Prime Minister held delegation level talks, as we can see on our screens. India and Ethiopia have reaffirmed their resolve to elevate bilateral relations to new heights. This was after Prime Minister held talks with his Ethiopian counterpart, Abiy Ahmed. Prime Minister was also honoured with the highest honour of Ethiopia. This is the Great Honour Nishan of Ethiopia, and it reaffirms the East African country's role as a key partner for India in Africa and the global South. The visit saw a ceremonial welcome from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was received at the airport by his Ethiopian counterpart, and then delegation level talks were held, exchange of MOUs was held, and here we can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi being bestowed with the country's highest honour, that is the Great Honour Nishan of Ethiopia. So in a nutshell, it has been a very important, crucial visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This happens after 2018 visit of Prime Minister, and After the delegation level talks, MOUs were exchanged. So this sums up the important visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ethiopia. Remember, Ethiopia is the second leg of Prime Minister's three-nation tour. And after concluding his successful visit to Jordan and Ethiopia, Prime Minister will arrive in Oman today as part of his three-nation West Asia and Africa tour. Oman is a strategically located Gulf nation connected by water from India's western shores. DD India's Gautam Roy has sent us a report from Oman's capital Muscat about India-Oman relations and prospects for their growth at a landmark juncture of the ties.
The Southeast Arabian nation of Oman in West Asia borders Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Yemen and faces the Arabian Sea to the southeast. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting the Sultanate of Oman for the second time after 2018 on Wednesday and Thursday, marking 70 years of diplomatic relations. The visit is set to advance already extensive ties, which range from defense to energy, plus trade and investment to technology.
This is the second visit of Prime Minister to the Sultanate of Oman after his last visit in February 2018. It also follows the state visit of His Majesty, the Sultan of Oman, to India in December 2023. This visit is of great significance as it will be taking place when India and Oman are together celebrating the 70th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations.
India and Oman share links which go back nearly 5,000 years. Diplomatic relations were established in 1955. Relations were elevated to a strategic partnership in 2008. Oman's ruler, Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, paid a state visit to India in December 2023. Oman is India's closest defense partner in the Gulf. It's the only GCC nation with which India conducts tri-service joint exercises. Bilateral trade reached $10.61 billion in FY 2024-25. Over 6,000 Indian-Oman joint ventures are present in Oman, adding $7.5 billion to its economy. Oman's FDI equity inflow into India totaled $605.57 million between the years 2000 to 2025. Oman-India Joint Investment Fund set up as a 50-50 joint venture for projects in India. The OIGIF has so far invested $320 million and another $300 million is under implementation. The two nations have also been negotiating a Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA since November 2023. It has been cleared by both the Indian Cabinet and Oman's Shura Council, and there's a strong likelihood that it will be signed during this visit among other key pacts. The India-Oman Diaspora Connect is 675,000 strong, and they're looking forward with a lot of excitement to the PM's visit.
We hope that this goes a very long way, sir. We hope that all the Indian community, the Banya community, the business community, they do very well, and they go forward in the future, sir.
Oman is also a crucial pillar of India's West Asia policy and a key interlocutor at the Gulf Cooperation Council, the Arab League and the Indian Ocean Rim Association, ties which extend beyond the bilateral.
India and Oman are now at a cusp of an even higher plane of relations in terms of both trade, energy, which have already been there, but also in many other spheres from digital to tech and even defense. And with this visit, it's hope that these will then set the course for better prosperity and development for both the nations. With cameraperson RK, Gautam Roy, Muscat, Oman, DD India.
The Indian diaspora in Oman is waiting anxiously for the Prime Minister's arrival and planning a warm welcome. Let's look in.
Welcome, Modi ji. We are excited to meet you in Oman.
Welcome, Modi ji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we warmly welcome you to Oman.
I don't think I've seen a more humble leader than him. He would love to talk to all of us and enlighten us about our future, as we are the future of our country.
मोदी जी, मैं आपसे मिलने के लिए बहुत ज्यादा उत्साहित हूँ। वेलकम टू ओमान।
अपने ग्रेट लीडर, विजनरी लीडर यहाँ आ रहे हैं। मोदी जी का जो इंतजार हो रहा है, पीपल आर रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड।
उनके संसदीय क्षेत्र बनारस से मैं हूँ, हमारे लिए एकदम सौभाग्य की बात। और वे मस्कत आ रहे हैं, ओमान आ रहे हैं, इससे बढ़कर और क्या है, हमारा अहोभाग्य।
I've seen many of his talks, many of how his interaction with the students, with others. Like, it makes me feel so much inspired because such a great leader and one of the top leaders in the world.
Such an aspiring leader who has inspired all of us.
हम सब बहुत खुश हैं और अपने आप को बहुत प्राउड फील कर रहे हैं कि वो ओमान मस्कट में आ रहे हैं और हम लोगों से मिलेंगे।
We are all very elated to know that Prime Minister Modi is visiting Oman.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a special affinity for the younger generation. He is particularly paternal towards 10th and 12th school students who face crucial academic year end exams which decide their future course. He has an annual event with these students where an easygoing interaction is held with an emphasis on de-stressing ahead of key exams. Pariksha Pe Charcha, or a chat about exams, is even watched by Indian community students abroad. DD India's Gautam Roy visited an Indian school in Oman's capital Muscat and interacted with some students who are likely to be part of the PM's community event during his visit.
The Indian diaspora in Oman is 675,000 strong, and the Indian education system has a strong presence in the Sultanate. There are 22 Indian schools all over the country, and we're at one of them, the Indian school Muscat. Let's talk to some of the students here because they are in anticipation of even interacting with the Prime Minister. That is something that is in the plans. It's quite likely that you'll be meeting Prime Minister Modi. What sort of an interaction are you expecting to have with him?
First of all, I'm really grateful that we all have the opportunity to meet the PM, because not many people get this opportunity, and I really want to hear him speak about the opportunities, the career opportunities which we will get, the new generation, especially in India. Listening to his speeches on Pariksha Pe Charcha really helps me to stay grounded and makes me feel less pressurized.
That's great. So already even overseas, Pariksha Pe Charcha, that is a chat about exams of Prime Minister Modi, is being heard by students in a place like Oman as well. Let's talk to some more of them. Hi, what is your name?
My name is Eliska D'Souza.
Eliska, the Prime Minister is a fairly inspiring figure. He's very hardworking, as well as he doesn't let the pressure of running a whole country get to him. Is that something, a quality that you'd like to perhaps imbibe? If you interact with him, do you think that sort of an osmosis could happen?
Yes, in fact it could be, because as myself being a prefect, it is a great inspiration from him how he runs this country and how his inspiration is spread through all over the world and in India. So it is a great thing to know from him.
Is there something in terms of discipline as well that you pick up from the Prime Minister? Because again, he has very tight schedule, extremely busy, and yet he manages everything with reasonable ease.
I am really inspired by everything the Prime Minister does. To be honest, the fact that him taking out time just to spend some time with the students is really inspiring. I have not seen anyone else do this, and it just brings me a lot of joy knowing that such a great world leader is someone who I can potentially interact with. So the discipline that he carries around is really inspiring, and the fact that he meets all his deadlines, he's always punctual, is something I really wish to learn from him.
Excited to meet you, Prime Minister.
There's another thing that Prime Minister Modi has always maintained, is that all children should, apart from of course paying attention to the studies, also spend a lot of time in the playing field, sweat so much in the playing field that from tip to toe they do get a bit soaked. So let's find out from these students. Hi, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Aryan and I'm from the 12th grade.
Okay, Aryan, now do you also feel that apart from your academics, your studies, co-curricular or extracurricular activities, sports is and should be an inseparable part of your lives? And is it And do you feel that that is something that really helps you manage stress as well of studies and exams?
Yeah, 100%, because there's a lot of stuff outside of textbooks that we need to learn, and sports especially helps you learn a lot of that. So like, let's say teamwork. So we learn a lot of that through sports, and a lot of other things are taught in our school, not just through academics and extracurricular activities, which helps us honestly expand our horizons. And all the schemes that have been brought up by our Honorable Prime Minister, it really does make it feel like there is not just an emphasis on academics, but overall more holistic.
What do you feel is the best part about the education here, which is, I believe is an Indian Education Board, and do you feel that this is something that will help you in your future career, being part of the Indian Education Board, like the Central Board of Secondary Education?
Even though we are in Oman, we are still in part of the CBSE family, and being in that, we get all the resources which a student in India is getting.
What do you feel about how important is de-stressing in terms of preparations for the studies and then taking part in sports or other activities? What do you do yourself to de-stress?
I personally take up extracurricular activities. I participate in the activities which are there from the school itself. I guess the school gives us those initiatives personally to maintain our stress. And yeah, I get into art and sometimes sports.
Do you feel that being spiritual or meditating, thinking within yourselves, or even things like controlling your breathing helps you with de-stressing?
And I feel like meditating and like taking proper yoga exercises and all, it helps to calm yourself down. It helps you to think in the present, like what's happening around, because in that way you can focus on what you want to do and what you want to really achieve, like your goals and everything. So I think that helps in the studies as well.
As you can see, the students here at the Indian School in Muscat are well prepared. They are conscious of what they need to do to advance in life, and this is something that perhaps will be conveyed as well when Prime Minister Modi is here in Oman, perhaps meeting with them and interacting with them as well, with cameraperson RK and as well as Mohan Mukut Sharma. This is Gautam Roy, Muscat, Oman, DD India.
India-Oman relations go back centuries due to movement of trading communities. Now, these links have always been harmonious, so much so that land for a Krishna temple near the Omani capital Muscat was donated by late Sultan Qaboos to the Indian community. DD India's Gautam Roy has spoken with the temple's manager, Rajiv Sampath, about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's impending Oman visit and how it is expected to build upon an already strong friendship. Let's listen in.
This is the Krishna temple in Darsaid, very close to the Omani capital of Muscat. In 1987, the then Sultan Qaboos had donated this land to the merchant community from India. Here, the Indian community is almost 675,000 strong here in Oman, and there are two main temples in Muscat and around it. One is this Krishna temple, and there's a Shiva temple as well.
This temple, as we said, it was just 38 years past for this temple, for Krishna temple, and we do all the functions, all the community do the functions here in temple, and we have visitors of around 1,000 to 1,500 people every day.
There's something special about the idol here as well.
There is an idol of Govind Raiji, we say. It's a idol, Krishna idol, but it was like brought from from the Iraq, and to show the between two countries tie, there is a khanjar on the idol. It's a Omani khanjar on the idol, which we cannot see right now because of the shringar, but it is there.
How do the communities here, the Omani community and the Indian community, it is also now Omani to a large extent, some of them have been here for centuries, how do they live together here in Oman?
Well, we have all the freedom here. Omani community is very helpful, including His Majesty is very helpful. We do all the programs here with all the freedom we are doing it.
Prime Minister Modi is here on the 17th and the 18th of December. What are your expectations from this visit?
India and Oman's relationship is from thousands of years, and Sir Narendra Modi sir, when he'll come here, we'll get more opportunities between the two countries' tie.
Thank you. So the friendly ties here in Oman between India and Oman, represented by the Indian community and the Omani community here as well in complete harmony. They've been here for centuries, really, ties going back to centuries between people to people. And these relationships, they are expected to get a major fillip during Prime Minister Modi's visit here in Oman. With camera person RK, Gautam Roy, Dar Said, Muscat, Oman.
During his 2018 visit to Oman, Prime Minister Narendra Modi prayed at the historic Shiva temple in the heart of the Sultanate's capital, Muscat. The temple is a living example of unity and coexistence for Indian diaspora in Oman through the ages. DD India's Gautam Roy reports on this.
The Indian community in Oman is 675,000 strong, but the links go back centuries, and one of the indicators of that is a structure where it's standing in right now. It's a Shiv temple, the oldest perhaps in the entire Gulf region. It's known as the Sri Adi Moteshwar Mahadev temple here in Muscat, and Prime Minister Modi also visited this temple in 2018, and now that he's coming here again, let's talk to some people who are associated with the management of the temple here. We have Rajesh Soreji with us. Rajeshji, how's the Indian community this time around looking forward to the Prime Minister's visit?
It was an historical, event when he visited here, and this was the temple where he had visited and done all the pujas. This temple was established by the Indian community, which was basically known as the Banyan merchant community, who had migrated years ago, before 1970s if you say, and because of their strong relationships with the government, with Oman, this has been possible, a place to worship.
And there's a miraculous aspect to this temple as well, I believe, because of this structure that we see here. Tell us about it, please.
This is the sweet water well, which, if you say, this is one of the oldest well in the whole Gulf region. And if you see this in this temple, earlier in this well itself, they used to take out the water, wash their clothes. The community itself, they used to come here, wash their clothes, have a bath over here, and then worship, and then they start their business trips to all over Oman.
So there's a bit of magic to the ties between India and Oman as well, which goes back centuries, and perhaps that magic will be taken further, and it will lead to a lot more dividends for both the communities, both the countries in the coming days with Prime Minister Modi's visit. With camera person RK, this is Gautam Roy in Muscat for DD India.
The 675,000 strong Indian community in Oman is well established in multiple fields as professionals and business persons, apart from performing other responsibilities. Again, DD India's Gautam Roy has spoken to three prominent business persons in the Gulf nation about the prospects of enhancing economic relations with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit. Take a look.
The Indian community in Oman is 675,000 strong, and many have been here for generations and have very strong, deep roots into the community, be it through business or through their profession and otherwise. We have some eminent Indian Omanis with us today. Let's talk to them.
The India and Oman, the relation is more than decades and more than 5 years long and all everything. And the Narendra Modi, I think so, he is coming in Oman and all. And so we are most welcome to him to see them, and we are also having the business conference at the Al Bustan.
We are here for the last 125 years in Oman. This is our fourth generations. We are running the business. We are very great to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos also, because of he has given the nationalities to the Omanis, and even Sheikh Haitham is also like that only, and we are very happy in Oman for the last so many years.
Now, there's been talk of a comprehensive economic partnership, a trade deal between India and Oman. It's been under work since November 2023, and it could be finalized in this visit as well. So what are your expectations there?
Yeah, definitely. We are very, very positive about these things also, and definitely it will be help to both the countries, Oman as well as India. because there is a lot of goods are coming from India also, as well as from here also is going to there also. So definitely it will be help to both the countries.
I think nobody can avoid India. Nobody can ignore India. The intellectual abilities and whatever field, whatever sector, whatever industry we want to go in, India is the one who will help you. Now, having established a relationship with India, with this country, maybe over 5,000 years, and I'm sure everybody expects that there should not be any problem in tying up as much as we can with India. Now, naturally, the trade has been going up, and with this FTA or with the treaty they are talking about, will definitely enhance this one.
Great, sounds great. And we hope that these ties make further progress, because there's complete harmony where India and Oman are concerned. They've been working in concert as bilateral partners for decades now, and there's a lot more to look forward to. With camera person RK, this is Gautam Roy in Muscat, Oman for DD India.
All right, so that was about expectations from Prime Minister's visit to Muscat, Oman. This will be a third destination in his three-nation tour. Prime Minister will be reaching Oman today. We'll keep you updated. Moving on, let's get to other updates we're tracking this hour. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Israel on a two-day visit. Concluding day one of his visit, the minister met Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, in Jerusalem. He extended warm wishes of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two sides discussed deepening cooperation in technology, economy, skills and talent, connectivity and security. The minister on social media said that he valued Netanyahu's perspectives on regional and global developments. External Affairs Minister also expressed confidence that the strategic partnership between the two countries will grow from strength to strength. Earlier, Dr. S. Jaishankar held a great meeting with Israel's Minister of Economy and Industry, Nir Barkat. Both the leaders discussed taking forward the investment and innovation cooperation. Dr. S. Jaishankar also expressed confidence in the early conclusion of India-Israel Free Trade Agreement, which will further boost our economic partnership. Dr. S. Jaishankar also called on President Isaac Herzog. He conveyed warm greetings of President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They discussed strategic partnership and its continued deepening. Dr. S. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's steadfast support for enduring peace in the region. Indian director Neeraj Ghaiwan's film Homebound has moved to the next stage of voting for the International Feature Film category at the 98th Academy Awards. The announcement places India's official entry among 15 films that remain in contention for the final nominations for Oscars 2026. The movie, which seeks to give a voice to people who feel invisible, features Ishan Khattar and Vishal Jetwa in lead roles. It now stands beside films from Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany and others. The shortlist marks a significant milestone for the film, strengthening India's presence in the global awards circuit ahead of the final Oscar nominations. In international updates, first we get to updates from the US, where President Donald Trump on Tuesday ordered a blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela, warning that US naval armada will only get bigger until Caracas returns all of the oil, land and other assets that they stole from the US. Trump's remarks came a week after the US seized a sanctioned oil tanker off Venezuela's coast. The latest move in Washington's pressure campaign against President Maduro's government, which Trump blames for drug trafficking into the US. Trump's campaign has included a ramped-up military presence in the region and more than 24 military strikes on vessels in the Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea near Venezuela, which have killed at least 90 people. Trump has also said that US land strikes on the South American country will soon start. US President Donald Trump on Tuesday widened a full travel ban, barring citizens from 7 more countries, including Syria, from entering the United States. The White House said Trump signed a proclamation tightening early rules for countries judged to have serious shortcomings in screening, vetting and information sharing, citing national security and public safety concerns. The expanded ban applies to nationals of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan and Syria, as well as people traveling on Palestinian Authority-issued documents. Laos and Sierra Leone, previously under partial restrictions, are now subject to a complete ban. The measures are set to take effect on January 1st. That's it in this edition of DD India News Hour. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off. And from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Newshour.